All right, let's talk about something your body does every single second of every day, and it's absolutely brilliant. We're diving into excretory products and their elimination. Now, I know, it sounds a little technical, but really, it's the incredible story of how your body takes out its own trash. I mean, just think about that for a second. How does it do it? Right now, as you're watching this, there's this unbelievably complex system working nonstop inside you, cleaning up, balancing everything, and yeah, literally keeping you alive. So, let's break down exactly how this whole thing works.
Okay, so first things first, we have to start with the problem itself. And the problem is, well, it's life. The very act of being alive creates waste.
See, every single thing your body does, turning that sandwich you ate into energy, building new muscle, repairing a cut, all of those metabolic processes create byproducts. And some of this stuff, especially the nitrogenous waste, is pretty nasty. If you just let it pile up, it would become toxic, fast. So the body has a huge waste management problem on its hands.
Now here's where it gets really cool. Nature is a fantastic engineer, and it hasn't just come up with one solution to this waste problem. It's developed a bunch of different strategies, and they mostly hinge on one super important factor: how much water is available. So you can see here there are basically three main game plans. On one end of the spectrum, you've got ammonia. It's super toxic, which means you need a ton of water to flush it out safely. In the middle, there's urea. It's way less toxic, so it's a great compromise for creatures that need to save water. And then you've got uric acid. It's not toxic at all and barely needs any water, but it takes a lot of energy to make. Every single one is a really clever trade-off, right? And these strategies have names. If you live in water like a fish, you can just let that toxic ammonia diffuse right out. Easy. We call that ammonotelism. But for us land animals, mammals, we have to be smart about water. So our bodies actually spend energy to convert that ammonia into the much safer urea. That's ureotelism. And then you have birds and reptiles, who are the masters of water conservation. They go a step further and create a thick uric acid paste, losing almost zero water in the process. That's uricotelism. So what about us? How does the human body pull this off? Well, our solution is this incredibly elegant and powerful system, and the stars of the show are two amazing bean-shaped organs. Say hello to the kidney. It might look small, but this thing is a powerhouse. You're looking at its two main regions here, the outer layer, called the cortex, and the inner part, the medulla. Just think of this whole thing as your body's personal high-tech water purification and filtration plant. It's the command center for cleaning your blood. And the scale of what's happening inside is it's mind-boggling. This isn't just one big filter. No. It's a massive network of tiny, microscopic filters all working together. That's right, about 1 million. 1 million tiny, powerful processing units called nephrons. And that's just in one of your kidneys. You've got two of them. So that's 2 million of these little guys working for you around the clock. So, what are these million micro-machines actually doing all day? To get that, we need to zoom way in and look at just one of them. We're going inside the nephron to see the three main steps of how urine is actually formed.
It all comes down to this simple three-stage process. Think of it like this. First, you just force a bunch of stuff out of the blood, good and bad. That's filtration. Second, you carefully pull all the good stuff back in. That's reabsorption. And third, you do a final sweep and actively check out any last bits of trash. That's secretion. Let's see how it works.
Okay, so here's our nephron. Blood comes screaming into this little tangled knot of capillaries called the glomerulus. The pressure in here gets so high that it literally squeezes a ton of fluid out of the blood. Water, salt, sugars, waste, you name it. This fluid gets collected in that cup-shaped thing around it, the Bowman's capsule. And that first batch of liquid, that's our filtrate. Now get ready for this number. Your kidneys produce an unbelievable 180 liters of this filtrate every single day. Let me put that into perspective for you. That means your entire blood volume gets filtered from top to bottom something like 60 times a day. But obviously, you don't pee out 180 liters, so where does it all go? This, right here, is where the absolute genius of the system kicks in. An incredible 99% of all that fluid is reabsorbed right back into your body. The system is so efficient that it reclaims almost every single drop of water and every useful molecule it can. So as that filtrate travels down this long, winding tube, the good stuff, like glucose, amino acids, salts, and most of that water gets pulled back into the bloodstream. It's like a super selective recycling program. At the same time, The body does one last check and actively pushes any other junk, like certain ions or drug metabolites, from the blood into the tube. It's recycling and waste disposal happening side by side.
And the kidney has this one extra clever trick up its sleeve called the countercurrent mechanism. Look at that U-shaped part of the tubule. The fluid flows down one side and up the other. By having these opposing flows, the kidney is able to create this super salty zone in the tissue around the loop. And that saltiness acts like a powerful magnet, drawing even more water out of the filtrate. It's a brilliant piece of engineering for concentrating urine and saving water.
Okay, a system this complex and this important can't just be left to run on its own. It needs incredibly precise control. So how does the body regulate this whole operation to make sure everything stays in perfect balance, what scientists call homeostasis?
Well, it's all about constant communication through hormones. For instance, let's say you haven't had enough water. Your brain senses this and releases a hormone called ADH. That hormone is a direct message to your kidneys that says, hey, hold on to water, we're running low. And on the flip side, if your blood pressure drops, a special sensor right there in the kidney, the JGA, releases an enzyme called renin. That kicks off a whole cascade of events to bring your blood pressure back up, making sure the filtration system always has enough oomph to do its job.
And then, of course, there's the final step, getting rid of the waste. The process of urination, or micturition, starts as a reflex when the bladder gets full, but it's a reflex that our brain learns to have voluntary control over. It's one last crucial piece of the puzzle.
But what happens when this perfectly tuned system starts to fail? If the kidneys can't filter properly, that waste we talked about, especially urea, starts to build up in the blood. This toxic condition is called uremia, and it's incredibly dangerous. It can lead to total kidney failure.
And this really drives home just how critical our kidneys are. For people whose kidneys have failed, their very survival depends on machines to do the filtering for them. That's hemodialysis, or if they're fortunate, a kidney transplant. It just goes to show you how much we rely on this silent, non-stop process that we barely ever think about.
When you really think about it, this incredible biological machine is working for you 24/7, no questions asked. So the question I want to leave you with is a simple one. Your kidneys are your body's ultimate filter. What are you putting through them?